Hi children, I've got my bear here, and my bear is going to come on an adventure with us to find out all about Earth. So we're going to be doing something really exciting after this, but we'll have a look at our book first. Now, we've looked at different planets in space before, and this one is our special planet that we live on called Earth. And you can see Bear is in his spacecraft, B1 for Bear 1, and going to explore Earth. And do you know what that is? That's right, it's the moon and the stars. We live on a planet called Earth. It's like a big ball in space that travels around and around the sun. We've got, here's the sun, a great big ball of burning gas. And here are our planets. Mercury, the closest planet to the sun. Venus comes next. Earth, oh and look, there's our moon. Earth is our planet with water and land. Mars comes next. Mars is a red planet. Jupiter is the biggest planet in the solar system. Saturn is surrounded by beautiful rings made of ice. Uranus comes next, and Neptune. And here on the end is little Pluto, that used to be thought of as a planet, but now is so small they call it a dwarf planet. There are 8 planets. Some are bigger than others and some are smaller. Can you say their names? Remember, the sun and the moon are not planets. The sun is a star, and the moon is called a satellite that goes round Earth. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. Thanks to air, water and sunlight, our planet is filled with plants and animals. Planet Earth has plants and animals. Everyone on Earth breathes air. It's part of an invisible blanket called the atmosphere. So the atmosphere is all around us, and we breathe in air. When we breathe out, it's another gas called carbon dioxide. Over half the Earth is covered by water, and water is a thing that means that our planet has life on it. The rest of the Earth is covered by land, and it's split into pieces like a jigsaw puzzle that are called continents. So a continent is a large piece of land, and in that continent are different countries. So our continent is called Europe, and we live in England, which is part of the British Isles, which is in Europe. There are other continents like Australasia and Asia and Africa and North America and South America and Antarctica. As far as we know, Earth is the only planet with life on it. Earth is really, really special. There is life in the water. We have fish and crabs and all sorts of things that swim in the water. And on the ground, we have different animals that are on the ground, and up in the trees there are birds, and in the sky. The water we use comes from rivers, streams and lakes, but most of the water on Earth is found in the salty seas. The seas are deep and full of mystery. They're alive with all kinds of animals. Do you know what that is? It's a whale. Great whales that are huge. The blue whale is the biggest animal in the world. To tiny little fish. Some fish are so small we can't even see them with our eyes. Around the middle of the Earth, it is very hot, and it rains almost every day. And that part of the Earth is called the equator. Great jungles full of giant trees grow there. Brightly coloured parrots screech as monkeys swing through the trees. Unlike the equator, the top and the bottom of the Earth are very cold places, and we call them the poles. The North Pole at the top of the earth and the South Pole at the bottom. And thick ice covers the land and floats in the water. Only a few plants and animals are able to live at the poles. A polar bear has thick fur that keeps it warm in the freezing cold weather. Polar bears live at the North Pole, and at the South Pole we have penguins. Deserts are the driest place on earth. It's hard to find any water because it hardly ever rains, but some special plants and animals can live there. Look at these palm trees. A palm tree has long roots that go deep underground to search for water under there, and also their long roots help to hold them really, really steady, because that sand is not like soil that's thicker. It can blow around, so their roots need to hold them like an anchor. A camel stores fat in its hump, and when a camel is hungry or thirsty, it can change the fat into food, because the camels go a long way across the desert with very, very little to eat or drink. People live all around the world. Some people live in big cities. We live in the city of Sheffield, don't we? And some live in small towns. Other people live in the country or near the water. And if we could slice open the middle of the earth like a melon, it would not look like a big apple. Oh no, the land and the water are just a skin on the outside, and in the centre of the earth is called the core, a bit like we might have an apple core. And underneath the land and the water, it is so hot in the middle of the earth that the rocks actually melt. The earth is millions and millions of years old, and it changes all the time. Mountains are formed when pieces of land move together, and over time, wind and rain wear down the mountains, and this happens very, very slowly. The mountains start off being really, really pointy when two pieces of ground move together, but over time the top of that will smooth off, and it's called erosion. When it gets smoother, the smoother the top of the mountain, the older it is. Not all changes happen slowly. An earthquake is sudden. In an earthquake, the ground shakes, and sometimes trees and buildings can fall over. And volcanoes can be found where the earth's skin has cracked open and melted rock called lava shoots out of some volcanoes. It can be very, very dangerous. Our planet is still changing. Some changes are made by us, aren't they? We make the air and rivers dirty. That's called pollution. And we cut down trees, so we've changed what it looks like. And sometimes they build houses and knock down trees. And the earth is millions and millions of years old. But if we take good care of our planet, then it will last for millions and millions of years to come. So we've got to do our bit of recycling and making sure we don't throw rubbish on the ground. We need to look after it, don't we? But I want to look at this. Can you remember what it's called? It's called a volcano, and the melted rock that comes out of the top is called lava. And actually, some islands are formed because made out of lava, like the island of America called Hawaii, or Iceland were once lava that's formed a new island. I want to make a volcano. Now, you need some Play-Doh. So I've got a pot of Play-Doh, but I do know that in one of the videos, Miss Sadiq showed you how to make Play-Doh. So a lump of Play-Doh, and I'm going to shape my lump into like a mountain. It's not going to be a normal mountain. It's going to be a volcano. So I'm going to squash it and make it a little bit pointy at the top like that. Let's have a look. Okay. Now, I'm not going to make that too pointy because I want to put in my little finger into the middle to make a hole, but I don't want the hole to go all the way through. Here we go. Can you see that? Now, this can be a little bit messy, so I am going to put my little volcano with the hole in the top on a plate, and I need some bicarbonate of soda, or you could use baking powder, and some vinegar. This is white vinegar, but it doesn't matter if it's malt vinegar that you put on your fish and chips. And if you have any food colouring, you can add that. I'm going to put in as much of this baking powder in, or bicarbonate of soda, into the middle of my volcano like that. I'm going to pack it down. And then I'm going to put some drops of food colouring into the middle there. Pour it on like that. I'm going to see if I can just mix it in with the... I'm going to have to use the wrong end of my spoon because I think my hole is too small for my big end of the spoon. I think I'll just put a little bit more baking powder in. Okay, now this is where the fun and the magic happens. I have got some vinegar here, and it's got a tiny little hole in the top of this vinegar, which is going to allow me to just get a few drops out at a time. And I am going to put this on the top of my volcano. Volcano is erupting red lava. I'm going to add a bit more. Can you see that fizzing? That means a chemical reaction is happening and lava is going to come out. I'm going to see if I can make a bit more of a space in there to add some more. Pouring it in. And look at that erupt. Isn't that great? So those bubbles mean that there's been a reaction. So it's changed that bicarbonate into a liquid. So I could carry on mixing it a little bit more and adding a bit more vinegar or a bit more bicarb. Let's have a bit more bicarb added to it. This is so fun. Let's see if we can make it erupt again. It's good if you have got the food colouring because it makes it pink, like red lava. Isn't that great? And we've made our very own volcano. So, vinegar, baking powder or bicarbonate. If you've got some colour, that's great. Maybe you could make a blue volcano or a purple one, depending on what food colouring you've got. Have fun doing that and send me a little photo or video of your volcanoes. Take care, children. Bye.